before you start saying down in the comments, I know who does this. I know who you are. That will start going down in the comments saying, "Oh, this isn't daily vlogging. This is gameplay footage of you talking over it." I know, but the reason I'm saying it's daily vlogging because it's more appealing to say daily vlogging than it is to say daily uploads, and that's why I'm marketing it. I don't know if marketing's the right word, but marketing it as that. But anyway, I think I said that before you've got your comment in, so you know who you are. But anyway, this is something that I actually wanted to talk about like for a long time on the channel, but I never really got around to it. But then while I was playing this game, and it's hard to explain, it's always been in my mind, but it was only, I never got why it was that the reason for this video is. But when I booted up this game and started playing it, it just clicked for me why this whole thing is what it is. What I'm talking about today, as you see from the video title and the thumbnail, is why it is that nearly all open world games fail, except for the obvious. I'm gonna state the obvious. GTA is not a failure. Rockstar pretty much invented the open world game with GTA, so I'm not going to be criticizing them obviously because they technically invented it. But I'm going to be talking about the other sad attempts at recreating this and how it went wrong and where it went wrong. Now, Just Cause is featured in this. For a fact, I love Just Cause. I play it all the time, but it just, even I have to say, a big Just Cause fan, it's just not enjoyable anymore. Enjoyable as it was to start. For the first few months I played Just Cause, I adored the game. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it, and that was when, about maybe 2016 time, when I first got the game through PS Plus, and I just really generally adored the game and played it 24/7. And I've also have the entire collection apart from Just Cause 4 up to there, and I've played all the games and I really enjoy it. But even I can criticize Just Cause. It's not Just Cause, it's other games like Saints Row, which they all are just sad attempts at recreating what Rockstar has mastered. And as I said before, I'm not saying Just Cause is a sad failure, but it does become a sad failure after about 4 months of playing. That's the honest truth. I played it for the average person it'd probably be about 4 months, but for me it lasted about 6 months. I don't know how long for you find this game fun, but it's not at the point. I just kinda stopped, it wasn't as enjoyable as it was, and as I said earlier on, it did just click for me. So to analyze this whole thing, we need to look at the games that have reached premium open world status. Now, listen up. If you enjoy the games that I'm criticizing in this, good for you. I'm glad that you can enjoy them. Don't go down saying angry comments. This is just my opinion and the main demographic of the public's opinion. But yeah, let's go with it. What I wanted, just to start first, is to list all the games that are actually good, open world, and is mainly universally agreed that they're good. Red Dead Redemption, GTA, and a few, but not all of the Mafia games. They're the only, not all of the Mafia games were seen as good. The first original one was good, which was I think the reason the first Mafia did, I'm going to start off by Mafia 1, which the reason the first one did is because the Mafia 1 took place before like nearly all the games had to be. Mafia 1 was, this is what I'm trying to say, Mafia 1 was a 15 rated, right? So, and that nowadays that would be an 18. Not because like people's opinions have changed or anything, not because of any of that, it's just because there was a big change in what was rated that like this and what was rated like that around the time period of 2009/2010 was when that big change, and it was easier for a game to get rated 18. I don't know how they rate it in America. I think it's mature, I'm not sure, and 15 would be T. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure, but it became much easier, and that's why Mafia 1 did so well, because it was rated 15 and more people bought it, because obviously more people it would be open to more people buying it. And you know, I'm not saying, listen, I hear P1s talking about COD and GTA, so I'm not saying that their parents wouldn't buy it for them, but sometimes parents can't be bothered with them and send them to do it themselves, and that means that they really can't, they really aren't able to get anything that bad or M-rated or 18 rated or whatever. That was back in them days. Nowadays online shopping is the biggest thing ever, and parents simply just have to type in and order it for whatever age their child is. To be honest, this is like kind of controversial subject. There's two people in this world, ones that follow the in-game rules of ratings and ones that don't necessarily agree with them. I am the second category. I don't necessarily agree with them. I think it's based on more the maturity of the child, because if a primary 1 or a 5-year-old is mature enough to play Call of Duty, so be it. Let them play Call of Duty. I was about probably 8, 9 when I was able to take Call of Duty and was able to play that, and I was about maybe 9 or 10 when I was able to take Just Cause, and that was when I got it in 2016. I actually bought it with PlayStation Plus, but I was well enough to take it. But it's not because it will affect them and give them nightmares. It's not because of any of that. It's just because they simply will just take like they will just basically reenact the shit that's on the TV, the TV screen. Like, they'll be going around. I'm not saying they're gonna murder people, but they'll be going around acting like complete freaks, pretending to make machine gun noises on the street. So complete weirdos. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. But yeah. But enough on that. That's why that one single initial Mafia game did so well, and then of course GTA was a classic from the 90s and onwards. But and of course Red Dead Redemption was just completely unique with the cowboy setting, and with you riding horses and all. That was really good, and that's what really set these three good games apart. But what happened with other open world games is they just kinda they tried to copy them but tried to be different at the same time. Examples such as Saints Row is simply just a bad game in general. It's simply a small map and every building looks the same, and it generally looks boring. Generally. And although you know, start talking more about it, it's just repetitive. Everything looks the same, which isn't the case with the three games I mentioned there. All the buildings don't look the same. They don't. They just don't. So they do. The buildings cannot look the same. I can't stress enough on that. Like, if the buildings look the exact same and everything is the exact same in a game, no one's gonna want to play it. But with Red Dead Redemption and the other games I mentioned, it's not the same. There's different things you can do, and that's basically Saints Row explained. But I'm gonna elaborate on Just Cause now. Just Cause, I've played the full game, and I have to say I'm a big fan of it. But every single game, I'm not just talking about Just Cause 3 or 2 or 1 even, I'm just in general, it's just repetitive. They claim, oh, we have the biggest maps, so we're the best game, which may be true that they have the biggest maps, but all the buildings look like they were literally just copied out and pasted onto different parts of the map. Sure, in Just Cause 3 of places like Ragno, there's different buildings, but you know, you can't go in any building, you can't do any interactions in any of the Just Cause games. You can't literally go into a building. It's just outdoors. And if you want to play that game, don't market it as an open world game. Market it as more of a fighting adventure game, like Assassin's Creed, mainly based outdoors, which would be fine. But they try to dip their pull into the open world at the same time. If you're going to do open world, make you go into places, and this is just true with all the failed attempts at recreating the actual good games of open world, which are universally agreed to be good games, have all just kinda are not really went well at all, you know, because they just don't work in general. They're unrealistic. Completely unrealistic. For me personally, it just seems completely, like, on most of these games, yeah, sure, they can have their wacky things in them just to spice it up a little bit, but that is good and well, having their wacky moments. Every game should have their wacky Easter eggs and fun little references, but making it completely, like, just making the parts that are meant to be serious and, like, you know, down to earth moments in the game unrealistic is what is happening with most of these games. And in Just Cause, when you're having a normal mission fighting some guards and whatnot, when you're having a normal mission fighting the Dear Fellow's army or whoever the dictator is, it just is unrealistic, you know? Because realistically, if you throw a grenade, there isn't going to be the same effect as a nuclear explosion. Realistically, if you shoot a gas tank, it's not going to set off a complete chain reaction, blowing up everything beside that. It's not going to be a complete domino effect. The gas tank will blow up, but it's not going to blow up the whole everything else beside it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just really just unrealistic, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. And the key to this is just repetitiveness. I can't stress this enough. Everything is repetitive in the games. I'm looking, especially just cause I'm looking at you. They're just. Let me just show you an example. Let me just show you an example. I need to hop back in this and drive to the coast and show you what I mean. What do you see? Okay, we're in Ragnar, which is kind of different. Look. This, the exact, not the exact same. Sorry, I take that back. The exact same as this building, with little things, just like little shops in, which, as you can see, you cannot enter. You know? It's repetitive, but that's not the main thing. You'll see completely what I mean. It's common in a game for having buildings that look the same, but you'll see what I mean once I get to the more, like, what's the word? I don't even know what the right word is. I'm gonna say suburban side of town, where there's more humble houses and not just skyscrapers. I'm not even sure where that is. Okay, I've reached suburbs. This here is what I mean. In this suburban area of Irel, these buildings look the exact same. Wait a second. Let me just fast travel to this little building. Buildings will look the exact same as the buildings here. And that's the truth. Look, they look the exact same. Look, the exact same. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. If you want to make a successful open world game, don't make it repetitive. I know Just Cause tried it with Just Cause 4, but it was minorly successful because it's still, yeah, they added in terrain, but it did just all have the same vibe, you know. And plus, bad graphics kind of ruined that game as well. But that's not the point. If you want to make a successful open world game, don't make the buildings and surroundings repetitive. And note for Just Cause, 50% of the landmass is fields. It's true, no one wants to walk around fields where there's nothing to see or look at, you know? Like, nearly all the fields, trees, that is just the way, you know? Trees, more trees. What's over there? Trees. You see, it's just the way of most. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Here's been today's daily so-called vlog. FIFA video coming later. Bye.